You're big on like mental health stuff though, because I know you mentioned Avicii. I've definitely noticed that a lot of the bigger DJs that have been doing it for a while, they're all sober now. I think that's like the wave.
Well,
Like you don't
longevity.
See it.
I mean,
yeah, you don't. But even just like the younger guys, I even saw like John Summit just posted. He's like, my first sober tour. Like,
Right.
it's like I don't know. Maybe that's just the new wave. The younger guys, they're just. I don't know. I feel like the 2010 era, it was kind of wild. Like it was a little sloppy. Like people just doing shots behind stage, drinking during the sets.
Rockstar DJ vibe.
Yeah, more. Yeah.
well, here's the thing: you try, right, and you live that, and then you find out you can't last.
Yeah.
So then you
Right.
got to switch. Just like
You
John
have to.
Summit, I was reading his tweets and everything, and I'm like, man, this guy is on a forever bender. He cannot keep up.
Yeah, I was kind of calling that a couple years ago. I was like,
Yeah.
if he keeps this pace, I don't think he's gonna like last.
Yeah.
And then,
Every single
like,
show, 1942 bottle in
Yeah.
hand. I'm like, oh, it's gonna get tiring really fast.
like a year
Every
later.
show.
A year later is like cool
Yeah.
sober show.
Right.
So
I remember, meeting a couple of those type of young talents where they get their first year of like real touring, real global touring. And then I meet them a year after. I'm like, how was it? You good?
Just exhausted.
Just exhausted, like being unable to talk or blink your eyes, which is funny. Whenever a shout out to Steve Aoki, I'm signed to his Dimac label now, but whenever I see Steve Aoki and he brings it in like at Tomorrowland for a hug or anything, I swear he does a 15-second power nap on my shoulder whenever we hug, because he's always like, he came from somewhere and going somewhere, and he's like, I'm so tired. We hug and he's out. I'm like, okay.
you're like, you
Back to
good?
life.
Hey,
Like,
wake up.
yeah, we've done a couple tours with him. We've definitely seen him where he looks pretty tired, and we're just like, damn, dude, like, how are you doing this? But I mean, yeah, he's sober, and whenever he's home, he's doing ice baths and sauna and all kinds of weird devices in his house to like rejuvenate. So.
You know what? What I thought was interesting was Diplo announcing that he had a burnout, right? Very
Okay.
recently, only a few weeks ago. And
Did he
was
say those words like burnout, or is he just saying that he was going to take a break?
both, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I
'Cause
gathered
he's
from it.
still running marathons, so
Yeah.
Right.
No, but it's interesting because those guys have been doing the schedule for ages, and it is impossible to keep up, even if you're like super healthy. The only choice you should make is limiting the amount of shows, because in reality, how many shows do you want to do? And at a certain point, if you're at Aoki's level or Diplo's level, it's not even about the money anymore, right? You
Right.
can take it a little bit slower. And it's like with Diplo, I saw on his social media that he was so mad about it that he had the burnout. He was like, I accomplished this and I accomplished that. And it's like, yeah, man, you're a legend.
he has family.
Take
Right.
it easy a little bit, Yeah, you
Nothing to
can.
prove.
Yeah. And for some reason, that's just ingrained. And myself as well, I would love to still like do tons of shows. And even after the pandemic, I was like, I'm ready.
Right.
Let's go. But yeah, you guys know all of this. I mean, we're sitting here, but in a few days, we're going to be at Miami Music Week. It's going to
Yep.
be crazy. And then I'm supposed to be in South Africa after, and
Okay.
where you
Is
guys
that like
are.
an ultra thing?
No, not even.
Really?
Last week, I was in Australia.
No
Oh,
way.
Yeah.
wow. How was that?
It was just an Australia weekend. I flew in on the Friday. I flew out on the
Wow.
Monday.
I mean, you can't get much further than that, right? It's like the
Yeah.
opposite side of the world.
Yeah, maybe New Zealand, but it's crazy. So when I go into those, I have my hacks. And so, for instance, one of my biggest hacks is I don't do jet lags.
What do you mean?
How can you avoid that?
I do not do
He
jet
just
lags.
decides.
He
He just
mentally
makes a
decides.
decision.
So
I don't do.
I get
I'm
destroyed.
doing
I
all
get
the
destroyed
time.
when we go international
So
for some
for-
reason.
Hold on, you guys still do jet lag?
Yeah,
That's
mine
so
is.
like 2012, guys.
Please teach us.
I love
teach
saying
me.
that that way purposely. So my clock is 2021 right now, which is 8:21 in New York currently.
Okay.
This is the same clock I have on my laptop, and whenever I'm in Australia, it stays on the same time. I eat on the same time, I sleep on the same time, and so I never get out of it. Like I'm always on New York time.
Oh, okay.
But the sunlight would
So you
mess
just
you
stay
up,
in
though.
that time.
Just close the blinds.
Close the blinds, and then whenever you can, open the blinds. And it's like, for me, to be able to do an Australia weekend like that, and to then like bring my daughter to school on the Tuesday morning.
Right.
That's the hack for me.
That makes sense. Nicky Romero,
crazy, bro.
when we did something with him, he was flying from Europe and he said the same thing. He's like, I have to stay on my schedule, otherwise it's going to mess me up.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Gotta
Yeah.
try that out.
I remember we did one show in Norway, and it was during summer, and it was north, and the sun never went down.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it messed
Yeah.
me up so bad. I've never experienced that before. I felt like I was sleeping, but I guess I just didn't get any sleep.
Yeah.
And I had the blinds, everything. Still just messed me up.
Yeah. But those are huge travel pitfalls, especially for international DJs. Like, how do you maneuver that? Yeah.
Pretty
It's tough.
wild.
Yeah.
And there's more things. For instance, I always sit in a very similar seat in the airplane. Like, I always choose a window seat. And how I see the airplane is like, what are all of these people doing in my living room? Because it's almost like my living room because I spend so much time there. All of my bags and stuff with the wires and things are always on the same spot. In a hotel bed, I always sleep on the same side I sleep at home. That sort of thing. So all of these small hacks keep me out of the chaos.
Versus, having to like reset, and then you waste that little bit of downtime.
If you like that clip and want to see another one, click here. If you want to see the full podcast, click here.